Hi, this is Joey Pants. I was Cypher in the Matrix. And welcome back to the bottom line of the rabbit hole.
Big Matrix University shout out to Joey Pants, aka Cypher in the Matrix, for the exclusive introduction, and salute to all the Matrixologists tuning in. You are always appreciated. This video is all about Cypher and breaking down his role in the Matrix trilogy. Spoilers will absolutely be required. Plus, later on, we'll check back in with actor Joe Pantoliano to see if there was anything else we should know. And if this is your first time down here, or you want to know everything about the Matrix universe, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you can soak up all this yellow-pilled content. Yeah, Cypher actually has the very first line in the original Matrix film. But actor Joe Pantoliano's history with the Wachowskis goes back to their 1996 directorial debut titled Bound, where Joe plays the role of an Italian mobster named Caesar. Ironically, in 2003, Joe won a Primetime Emmy Award for his performance as a different mob character named Ralph Cifaretto in the HBO series The Sopranos. In 2015, he worked with the Wachowskis again in the Netflix series Sense8 as the retired cop named Michael Gorski, father of main character Will Gorski, played by actor Brian J. Smith, who has a role in the upcoming Matrix 4. Now, anyone who has seen the Cypher Once Back In video here on this channel knows that despite his best efforts, Joey Pants does not have a part in the Matrix 4. So in this video, we are going to focus on his iconic performance in the original Matrix. The character Cypher stands out from the rest of the crew and even provides a bit of comic relief. Let's start with the name. The word Cypher in former times meant 0. It was later used for any decimal digit. Eventually, Cypher came to mean an encoded message or communication not easily understood. In cryptography, a cipher is an algorithm for performing encryption or decryption, a series of well-defined steps that can be followed as a procedure.
Do you always look at it encoded?
Well, you have to. The image translators work for the construct program. But there's way too much information to decode the matrix. You get used to it. I don't even see the code. All I see is blonde, brunette.
In common terms, cipher can be synonymous with code, as they are both a set of steps that encrypt a message. However, the concepts are distinct in cryptography. The interesting link here is that in the Matrix Online, the character named Kryptos was the leader of the Cypherite organization named after Cypher. In Cinematic 4.2, it is revealed by the kid that Cypher and Kryptos were close friends in Zion. I go into more details about Kryptos in the Matrix Online Explained video. I'll leave links in the description for anyone who needs to get caught up there. In a nutshell, Kryptos and the Cypherites promoted a blue pill ideology. They desperately wanted back in the Matrix, a mindset best captured in the classic stake scene with Cypher and Agent Smith. We find out a lot about Cypher in this scene. For starters, Agent Smith addresses Cypher by his blue pill name, Mr. Reagan. I'm not sure if there is any relation to former President Ronald Reagan, but Cypher did request to be reinserted into the Matrix as, quote, someone important like an actor. And since Ronald Reagan was an actor before getting into politics, the subtext there is certainly up for debate. What we do know is that Cypher was unplugged for 9 years and came to believe that ignorance is bliss, a cliche that originates from the 18th century poem written by Thomas Gray titled Ode on a Distant Prospect of Eton College that ends with, quote, and happiness too swiftly flies. Thought would destroy their paradise. No more, where ignorance is bliss. 'Tis folly to be wise. I believe many people focus on Cypher's desire to taste the steak and exit a life on the dark, cold hovercraft Nebuchadnezzar, but fail to recognize that he demands his memory be erased as part of the deal. There is more to the story behind his motivations. Having to live with the thought of betraying his crew in exchange for the codes to Zion would have destroyed his negotiated future paradise. Which brings us to Cypher's representation of Judas, who is known famously for his betrayal of Jesus. The name Judas is often used synonymously with betrayal or treason. And in the scene just before meeting with Agent Smith, Cypher says Jesus not once but twice in his conversation with Neo.
Neo, you scared the bejesus out of me.
Now I know there is plenty of controversy in this scene over how Cypher was able to jack in and out by himself to meet Agent Smith. I already explained this in the 10 Matrix Misinterpretation video here on this channel. Since that video, I've also discussed this in the Wachowski chat Transcript live stream, where I found the Wachowskis themselves describing the scene as, quote, setting up an automated system to allow him to go meet with Agent Smith. so that should end the mystery for anybody who was curious about the process. You can even notice that once he realized Neo was there, Cypher quickly turns off all the monitors that aren't in the Matrix code to hide what he was doing. The major takeaway from both these scenes is the blue pill mentality that defines Cypher's character.
Actually, I've been thinking it ever since I got here. Why, oh why didn't I take the blue pill?
So here we have at least the surface motive established. The looming regret of choosing the red pill, becoming wise to the truth, shattering his previous paradise of ignorance. But in order to return to his blue-pilled slumber, Cypher has to deliver Morpheus to the agents so that they can extract the codes to open the Zion mainframe. The first opportunity that Cypher gets to deliver Morpheus to the agents is when the crew takes Neo to see the Oracle. Cypher doesn't waste any time when they get back inside the Matrix and throws his cell phone into a trash can so that the agents can trace the call and find their location. After Neo meets the Oracle, the agents cut the hardline and trap the crew inside the Lafayette Hotel. By the way, this is the same building that Neo was propositioned with the choice of the red or blue pill and then extracted from the Matrix. But this time, once the crew realizes that they are trapped inside, Cypher says, quote, "That's what they changed. We're trapped. There's no way out." At that point, Morpheus calls Tank and finds another way out, scaling through the walls of the hotel. Cypher gives up the crew's location yet again by coughing from inside the walls, which leads to Morpheus sacrificing himself so that the rest of the crew can get Neo out of the Matrix. When the SWAT team tear gases the basement, Cypher realizes the rest of the crew has a chance to escape. If he can exit the Matrix before the others, it's him versus Tank and Dozer, opposed to Cypher versus the other 6 remaining crew members. Of course, because Cypher is an informant, the system provides a convenient car accident to prevent Tank from suspecting Cypher's escape. Once Cypher is back on the hovercraft in the real world, he uses a lightning gun on Tank and fatally wounds Dozer. He then goes into detail about his hatred towards life in the real world and how taking orders from Morpheus isn't his idea of freedom, just before killing crewmates APOC and Switch by prematurely disconnecting them from the Matrix, where Trinity and Neo have to watch them die. Now there are a couple of things worth highlighting in this scene. The most important I already addressed in the Smith is Not the One video here on this channel, which is that Cypher himself says it would take a miracle to stop him from killing Neo. And in that moment, Tank turns out to be the vehicle for said improbability. That's going to come up again in a future video. Another thing I'd like to point out is that Trinity says you can't go back. Cypher tells her that they'll reinsert his body, but there is a high probability that Agent Smith had no intention of holding up his end of the deal. In the Matrix Online, Cypher's pal and Cypherite leader Kryptos requested to be reinserted into the Matrix, to which Agent Gray replies that there is no such procedure. Even if the procedure did exist at that time, were these same Sentinels that ended up tearing the ship apart supposed to be the same ones to spare Cypher in the real world and bring him back to the pods? Let's say that things went according to plan, and the entire crew is captured inside the Lafayette Hotel. Cypher would still have to deal with Tank and Dozer on his own because I doubt the Sentinels were checking for IDs. Either way, the lesson here is that betraying your friends is clearly wrong, especially by way of murder. Not only does this make Cypher the villain, but it also makes him the fool, because there was no guarantee that he could collect his reward. However, actor Joe Pantoliano has defended his character's position. During a Real Blend podcast, Joey Pants said, quote, "I always have arguments with fans of that movie because they look at Cypher and they say, 'You were a traitor.' And I, being in show business and having to dissect and having liberal visions of the character I'm portraying, I'm always arguing on his behalf, on Cypher's behalf. Like, who wouldn't take the deal? If you were given an opportunity and a choice, and then you decided you made the wrong choice, you take the red pill. The girl that you love is in love with somebody else. You've gone through 6 or 7 ones. Neo is just another guy that's going to get his ass killed. And he's going, I've made a terrible mistake. Ignorance is bliss. Why shouldn't I go back to a world and pick the person I want to be, pick the career I want to have, and have no memory? I'd betray anybody. I'd kill anybody." End quote. So I previously mentioned there was a slim chance that Cypher would have been able to go back. But Joey Pants says something in this quote that I think is very rarely talked about and often overlooked when discussing his character, and that is Cypher's feelings for Trinity. He tells Trinity that she was a beautiful woman, that he would dream of her, and that at one point, he thought he was in love with her. So what changed? I'd say Cypher's jealousy of Neo changed everything. Throughout the entire film, Cypher is the only one who consistently shows he doesn't believe in Neo's ability. During their one-on-one conversation, he tells Neo not to be brave and to run. During the jump simulation, Cypher makes it a point to remind the crew that everyone falls on the first jump. He's all over any opportunity to undermine confidence in Neo.
I don't remember you ever bringing me dinner. I don't remember you ever bringing me dinner. Bringing me dinner. There is something about him, isn't there? I just keep wondering if Morpheus is so sure. Why doesn't he take him to see the Oracle?
Of course, there's the obvious jab suggesting that Morpheus isn't 100% sure about Neo. But there was always something about Cypher saying that Trinity never brought him dinner that seemed interesting. The bonus creepy villain factor of Cypher following Trinity around made me rewind the tape even more and go all the way back to the opening scene of the film. During that phone call, Cypher says, quote, "You like him, don't you? You like watching him. We're going to kill him. Do you understand that?" End quote. So you have Cypher insecurely questioning Trinity's feelings for Neo, and the very next thing out of his mouth is that he's going to kill him. Here's one more thing that I often think gets overlooked.
She got out.
It doesn't matter.
The informant is real.
Yes. We have the name of their next target.
The name is Neo.
Cypher, as we know, is the informant. So he sold out before Neo and Trinity ever met and before even negotiating his deal with Agent Smith. That's some serious jealous rage snitching for a mere crush. I couldn't help but wonder if there was more to Cypher and Trinity's history. If Trinity had already gotten too close to Cypher in the past, that could certainly explain why Ghost was quarantined so deep in the friend zone. It also wouldn't be the first time that a beautiful dark-haired woman fell in love with the main character instead of Joey Pants in a Wachowski movie. Still, I wanted to try to find more evidence one way or the other, so I asked Joe Pantoliano himself if Trinity and Cypher had a previous history, or if he remembered any scenes with Cypher that didn't make the final cut. Here's what he had to say.
Hi, this is Joey Pants. I was Cypher in The Matrix. And welcome back to the bottom line of the rabbit hole when Trinity and Cypher were together before finding Neo. As far as scenes that I was in that may have been cut, I don't know. I don't remember. I'm sure scenes are always trimmed down, but I don't recall. It's been so long. It's a fond memory. So, do I have any favorite memories from this set? Every day was a lot of fun. We shot it all in Australia, so I had a blast. But I'm glad that you enjoy The Matrix. And what I have coming up next is a movie I did in Italy called From the Vine. It's a lovely little romantic comedy, a feel-good movie. That's coming out in Canada July 10th, and then in the U.S. this fall. I don't know the dates yet, but I really thank you for your interest in my career and in The Matrix, and I appreciate you reaching out to me. So take care.
I also noticed that he wasn't real clear about any specific relationship status, which would lead me to believe that any relations would have been classified as an entanglement. The disclaimer here is that you can watch the Wachowski Transcript live stream to find out what other rumors the Wachowskis claim Joey Pants may have started in the past. But at the very least, I've laid out the case that Cypher's betrayal was more a crime of passion than a simple desire to eat a juicy steak with a blue pill for dessert. You can let me know what you think in the comment section, and remember, as one realizes that one is a dream figure in another person's dream, that is self-awareness.